It wasn't that long ago when the number one MAGA influencer Donald Trump said, "They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs." But today it can be said, the MAGA influencers are eating each other. And coming up next, I have all the details on the civil war that has broken out among them, and the shot that was just fired by Mike Johnson across their bows of racist bluster. This story begins with Tucker Carlson, the media personality who appeals to the older MAGA types who like their extremism and racism to be whitewashed, and Nick Fuentes, an influencer who appeals to younger men who do not need their extremism to be played down. They are loud and proud. Let's have a look at his gimmick as featured on his own show and on Carlson's, and on the other side I'll have the Trump world reaction as represented by Johnson.
Hey, I remember coming home from college and my second semester, I got home in the spring and I was like, Mom, Dad, Hitler was awesome. Hitler was right. And the Holocaust didn't happen. And my parents were like, we cannot believe what you are saying. We did not raise you like this. I'm
like mid-December, late December. It's actually funny. It was December 18th. I remember because that's an important date to me. And it's Joseph Stalin's birthday.
Oh.
I'm a fan.
You're a fan of Stalin's?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was an admirer, but we don't need to go into that. I guess.
Well, that's okay. Let's get back. We'll circle back to that.
It was weird because the reason I mentioned that, it was almost like, because I woke up that day and I was like, oh, it's December 18th. And I was just like very acutely aware of like, today's like a strange day. This is the day that the attempt happened.
So how's that for interesting conservative programming? And even though nobody should be surprised that people are comfortable talking this way during Trump's second term, another conservative broadcaster did take exception. Have a listen to Ben Shapiro's reaction to Carlson rolling out the welcome mat for Fuentes, and then I'll show you Mike Johnson getting pinned down for his reaction.
And then, of course, there's Tucker Carlson's relationship with the vice president. Certainly, Vice President Vance has been quite generous with Tucker Carlson. That loyalty was not reciprocated last week, to say the least. Here, for example, is what Nick Fuentes has said about J.D. Vance's wife, Usha.
Fighting the Matrix, India smells bad, all this kind of shit. And now they're all in favor of a fat race mixer who's married to a Jeet who named his son Vivek, who was mentored by a Jewish neocon and a gay Fed. This guy is going to be a defender of white identity? I don't think so. This guy's going to defend American identity? If we had millions of Slovenian supermodels immigrating to America, I don't think we'd have a big problem with it.
Tucker Carlson had on Nick Fuentes and did not ask him a single question about any of this. He just brought him on to launder his ugly ideas and make him more popular. That doesn't seem quite like the act of a friend.
So while Shapiro was condemning his one-time friend Carlson, a reporter was chasing Mike Johnson down some stairs for his reaction. Many have noticed lately that Johnson has been saying, "I don't know anything about that," whenever confronted with Trump-related questions that put him in the position of defending the indefensible. But for this MAGA Mania story, he found his voice.
National Review, quick question for you. Tucker Carlson recently gave a pretty friendly interview with Nick Fuentes, an avowed Hitler and Stalin apologist. I'm wondering, given this is a pattern of behavior for Carlson, who's made sympathetic comments in the past about Vladimir Putin and Maduro, do you think that Carlson's views and voice have a place in the conservative movement?
Look, I heard a compilation of some of the worst things that Nick Fuentes has said. It's absolutely outrageous, some of the things he said, just blatantly anti-Semitic, racist, and anti-American, anti-Christian for that matter. I think we have to call out anti-Semitism wherever it is, and I don't think, whether it's Tucker or anybody else, I don't think we should be given a platform to that kind of speech. He has a First Amendment right, but we should never amplify it. So that's my view.
Thank you.
I find the idea of MAGA attempting to cancel one of their own to be fascinating. I have no problem condemning Carlson for giving Fuentes a wider platform, but where exactly does Johnson and the Republicans draw the line? Trump himself and the MAGA movement as a whole stopped trying to hide the racism a long time ago, and Carlson has a long history of dancing with racist themes. But only now the line has been crossed? The truth is, the Trump ecosystem cannot survive without some racism. It has been the fuel for the dark MAGA soul. So when Johnson pretends to draw a moral boundary, it's a bit laughable. When he finally calls out Donald Trump for his many racist moments, when he finally rejects policies that are inspired by white nationalism, and when he rehabilitates the toxic Republican culture that has given life to guys like Fuentes, then I'll take him seriously. I'm Dan, thank you for watching, and now I want to know what you think. Please comment below, and let's continue to occupy democracy together.